Hello and welcome to an overview of the NASA Spec 3 racing class. Spec 3 is an extremely fast growing class within NASA, and it is expanding across the United States at a rapid rate. There are currently fields as of 2024 all over the East Coast in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, and Southeast, as well as growing fields in Florida, Great Lakes, SoCal, and there are builds also in other regions such as Utah and Texas. So if you're looking for an affordable racing class that is growing quickly, has a lot of buzz and a lot of hype around it, Spec 3 is the class to join. So Spec 3 requires a E36 sedan or coupe. Any chassis can be used between 1992 and 1999 as long as it is an E36. However, the best car to build is a 93 through 95 325i or another one of those years with a available drivetrain from a 325i. The reason that is the case is that Spec 3 only allows the drivetrain out of the 325i, so whatever you choose to build, you'll have to swap those in if they don't already have it. That means the M50 B25 TU is the required engine, the GetDrag 250 is the required transmission, and the other suspension components, except for where otherwise specified, have to remain the stock non-M component. So now that you know what you need to buy as far as a donor to start your build, it's time to talk about what upgrades you're going to be doing. So, like we mentioned, let's assume that we're starting with a 93 BMW 325i. Any of the winter package cars would automatically come with a limited slip in the 315 ratio. All the other non-M manual cars came with an open 315. You can run either in the class, but to be competitive, it's best to get a 315 limited slip. Those did come in the M3 as well as the early winter package non-M cars. Those go for $300 to $400 on the open market. Beyond that, the other upgrades on the car are a Spec 3 spec chip made by Epic Motorsports, sold by Bimmerworld, a Vorschlag Spec 3 camber plate, E36 M3 1996 through 99 front strut housings with a Coney yellow insert, as well as either an H&R anti-roll bar or an IBOC anti-roll bar, both of which the part numbers are specified in the rules. To complete the Spec 3 suspension package, we also use a bespoke custom-made Swift spring that is carried by RRT Automotive. One notable exception to the stock non-M parts that are required to remain on the car are the 1996 through 1999 front control arms that Spec 3 cars use. They provide additional camber and caster and improve the handling of the car. Another iconic upgrade that you may see on a lot of Spec 3 cars is the Spec 3 headlight duct. There are two legal options. One is offered by Race German. It's optional and all racers get a discount. There's also a budget-friendly fiberglass option. You may have seen this on numerous E36s at the track before. Brake compounds are limited to just the Hawk DTC 60. Spec 3 has great contingencies for Hawk brake pads, as well as FCP Euro carries them, and they are warrantyable for lifetime. So buy one set on FCP, return them, and get a new set whenever you need. Wheels are limited to 17 by 8 or 17 by 8.5. Wheels that weigh over 16 pounds. And the dry tire is a 235/40/17 Toyo RR. Toyo just announced a new Proxys R that may replace this tire in the future, but for the 2024 season, the RR is still the tire. For reins, we actually use a 225/50/15 Toyo RA1, and those are mounted to a 15 by 7 wheel. Additionally, a requirement for any NASA racing is a NASA legal roll cage. Spec 3 specifically requires a 6-point roll cage with the allowance for 2 additional bars for foot protection. Additionally, all NASA racers are required to have properly rated fire suits, gloves, helmet, fire retardant underwear, a fire suppression system, and an electrical kill switch in their car. So please consult the latest NASA CCR before trying to attempt to take your Spec 3 build out for competition, school, or for your first race. For a performance parity measure, Spec 3 also enforces a minimum weight of 2,825 pounds post-race with driver in the car, and there is a dyno limit of 195.9 horsepower for any car that's subjected to a dyno test. So now that you know everything about Spec 3, at least at a surface level, and you've decided that you want to join Spec 3 and go racing, what do you need to do? Well, if you have no on-track experience, it's recommended that you drop everything you're doing, find your local NASA region, and sign up for an event in either a hybrid drive or HPDE1. Once you're entered in HPDE1, it doesn't really matter what car you're driving as long as it can pass a state inspection and that it has good brake pads, recent manufacturer date tires, and fresh brake fluid, as well as other basic things like seats, seat belts, a windshield, things like that. Once you start HPDE, you can get on track and start to progress through the ranks. Usually it takes about a year or two to progress out of HPDE 1 to 2, usually where you're then allowed to drive without an instructor, and then 2 to 3, which is the advanced group. Once you're in HPDE 3 with sufficient experience, then you can choose to either become an instructor, start doing time trial, or pursue your competition license. So over the course of these 2 years that you've spent in HPDE, you've been able to build your car. Now, if you do have experience in Lemons or other club racing groups, and you either have endurance racing experience, a lot of HPDE experience, or a provisional race license from some other group that doesn't have reciprocity with NASA, you can enter into the competition school right away. If you already have a license from BMW CCA or SCCA or similar, you may be granted a provisional license right away. So now that we've covered what is Spec 3, the best way to build a car, where to find information such as the parts list or information about HPDE or racing licensing, now it's time to go out and build your car. So everything you've seen in this video was either a screenshot from our NASA Spec 3 Constructor's Guide, drivenasa.com, or footage or videos that you can easily find by just searching for NASA Spec 3 without a space between Spec and 3. So go out, learn, ask questions, join the discussion on our Facebook group or on the forums, or go to a NASA event near you, meet the racers, and ask questions there. Now we're going to leave you with the exciting last lap of the NASA Championship for Spec 3 qualifying race, and we hope that you'll go out and be inspired by this and follow our social media, NASA Spec 3 on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and also tons of Spec 3 racers post race footage on YouTube. So please go follow us, go watch the content, be inspired to build a car, and get that build started.